What's up, fellas? Back again. In this video, I'm going to be talking about women, retaining, all that good stuff. So it's been 8-9 days since I posted last. I think 9 days. Today's Monday, and I posted last Saturday. I've been camping. I was camping in the Smoky Mountains for a while. Then the Smokies had some storms and some weather coming in, so I left and went to Pensacola, Florida, and I was down in Pensacola for a few days at the beach. So that's why I haven't posted. Well, really I haven't posted because I had a friend with me, and he it was kind of just the way he was raised, but he's not big on personal space and alone time. Like, he's a very loving guy. But I didn't really get any time alone, and he was like, you can record a video with me around, and I'm like, no, I can't. I don't like to do that. I don't like for people to hear what I'm talking about, right? I like my alone time so I can focus, channel energy. Nothing else I don't have to pay attention to anything else around me, so yeah, that's why I haven't posted. But we'll talk about, let's see, when my buddy and I were leaving the Smokies, we stopped at a little diner in a small town and got some breakfast there. Great food. And our waitress was a lady in her 30s, maybe, something like that. And she said something to my friend about like me being selfish. I don't know what it was about. It was like right after we had sat down, and she told him that he needed to get a new friend. And I was sitting there and I was like, well, that could be sweet, or she could be taking a jab at me. Could be either one, right? And she came back and was talking to us, and then she told us that she has a little dog, a little like 20-pound dog. She was talking to us about her dog, and she said that her dog doesn't like men. And so when she said that, I was like, okay, yeah. So the friend thing was like a little bit of a jab, And I'm already like, I already kind of feel like that. Like, when I don't know someone, I don't really like for them to crack a joke about me, right? Because you can read someone's vibe, right? You can always read someone's vibe, and you can know if they're genuine or not. But she said that about the dog, and I knew. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. She's mad, and she was nice to my friend. Not so much to me, whatever. But she said that about the dog, and I looked at her, and I was like, yeah, you trained the dog that way, huh? And she completely ignored it, and she turned towards my friend and was like facing him and talking. And then she said it again, that her dog doesn't like men, that her dog bites men. And I said again, yeah, you trained the dog that way, didn't you? And she ignored it again, dude. And my friend, like, when we left, he said it like I was a dickhead, because he was like, yeah, you said that twice. And he acted like I was like mean for it. And I explained to him that, like, dude, do you understand that she was like taking little subtle jabs at me the whole time? And so I just dished it back to her, and she fucking stopped after that, right? She did like one of them little like cheerleader kick things. Like, she kicked her leg, one leg, in the restaurant in front of me and my buddy. And then this other girl, a young girl that was the hostess, and she was topping the coffee off, she did it too. And I knew, I was like, this is just for attention. Like, these girls, because him and I have been camping for several days, and we come in there, and it was like kind of all the little waitresses and girls and stuff like wanted to talk to us. All right, we had a good vibe. We've been camping, enjoying ourselves. So they all kind of wanted to talk to us, and yeah, they did that, right? And I just explained to him, like I'll explain to y'all here, that like, okay, the young girl was nice and sweet to me. She kind of ignored you. because my friend is overweight and bald, and he's a year older than me. He's 30. And then the older girl was rude to me, but was nice to you. I was like, the difference was the young girl wasn't rude to you. She didn't go out of her way to be mean to you, right? She just didn't really pay attention to you. And he noticed the same thing I did. It seemed like the older girl liked him and the younger girl liked me. And, I just told him the older girl is, like, I've come across this plenty of times, right? She's upset that I'm handsome and I'm confident, right? She's mad about that. There's a lot of girls running around that are really mad about it, right? Because we all know what happens. They go for guys like me. They have sex with them. They get fucked, right? They'll say that they fucked a guy, but they get fucked, actually. And the guy leaves. And so they begin to hate strong men. Because strong men are the ones that they fall for. And they know it. And the truth is they hate love. They're not open to love. So they embrace hate more, right? It is what it is. There's a lot of girls walking around like that. And the whole thing is they don't realize it's because they've been told not to protect themselves. Right? They've been told to be sluts, open up, let everyone in. Don't protect yourself, because there's men out here that don't care about you. You know, when I joined the military, my mom told me, be careful of the women you spend time around. They will try to trap you into a marriage. My mom had never been so clear and honest with me, telling me that, hey, now that you're like gonna have a stable job and insurance and everything like that, women are gonna look at you as a paycheck, and they're gonna try to get pregnant, and they're gonna try to get married, right? And my mother was telling me that. So, whatever. So that was that story. We leave, go on, carry on. Now we're in Pensacola Beach, and we're at a bar that's, like a beach bar. The water's there, the sand is there. You can walk up, no shoes, no shirt, and order a beer. It was great. Like, I've never actually done that. I can't recall ever being at a beach and having my shirt and my shoes off and walking up to a bar and I can order food and drinks. So me and my friend are just like, dude, this is fucking awesome. This is great. Like, we're having an awesome time. And this girl, they wear those little like bikini cover-ups, little thin silk things. She's walking, and she walks past us, and she drops it down, takes it off, and she's got like a little one piece, a onesie bikini that was a thong, and it was like real revealing, real small. And she was strutting, dude, shaking her hips when she walked, that little female strut thing. And she got in the water and like did a little dance. She like waved to little kids and stuff. It was disgusting. And these kids' moms were looking at her like with looks of disgust, like, damn, you look like a slut. And me and my buddy Nick were like, yeah, you look like a slut. So she's in the water with sunglasses on, and I felt like she was looking at me and my buddy, but I can't tell. She's got sunglasses on. And I was just kind of staring at her. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, she just did all this shit for some attention. There's a live band, right? Well, she goes back. She goes back to her table, and I watch her walk back, and she slaps this guy on the ass. So emasculating, dude. I can't believe it. And he let it happen. He like bent over to pick something up, and she went whack. After she had strutted her stuff and got her attention. And I was thinking, man, she's high on attention. And she just went back and slapped him on the ass. So, bitch. And so my buddy Nick, after like a minute or two or whatever, was like, he made eye contact with her. They were looking at each other, and he said they smiled at each other. And I was like, okay. Like, I really just kind of ignored that he said that. I was just vibing, just kind of listening to the band, looking at the water and the sand and stuff. You know, I'm just happy as shit. You ain't got to talk to me. I'm content. The next thing I know, motherfucker, I'll be damned if I don't turn around and there she is. Right there, little short girl. I'll turn around and she's like right here, dude. And she goes, "Hi, I'm Elizabeth." I was like, oh shit. That whole thing she did was for me. And I had no idea, you know, I wasn't looking at her. I didn't care. Like, I didn't even know she existed until she did that little strut thing. I literally didn't even know she was there. Yeah, so I talked to her. She shook my hand like a man, dude. Like, I said I was Nick, and we shook hands. And I was like, that's a firm grip, Elizabeth. You know? And she still had her shades on, and I could kind of see her eyes just a little bit through her shades. I hate when people talk to me with sunglasses on. But she asked how old I was, and I made her guess, and she was like, no, I don't play this game. And I was like, well, you have to. And so she did. She thought I was 23. And I was like, no, I'm 29. And she was 25. And then she told me she wasn't interested. She said, I'm not interested, and walked away. And she had touched me multiple times. Like, she was really handsy and stuff. And so with her, it's because I was condescending, right? I get that way. I get a bit sarcastic. I get a bit condescending. I can't help it, honestly. Like, I don't really think about it when I do it. I just do it. And, like, you know, I'm just calling a spade here, guys. I'm smart. Like, I'm smart, and I've got a lot of social skills. Like, my social IQ is pretty high. And so I get a little condescending to other people. But a lot of times it's the only way to get the point across to people. And I got more to tell y'all on a story for that. Because I was talking with someone last night, and they agreed that a lot of times the only way to get a point across is with sarcasm. So, yeah, so this girl goes away because she realized that, you know, I was kind of condescending to her, and I didn't take her serious, right? So, she approached me to tell me she wasn't interested in me, right? Like, yeah, the fuck right. But she's a girl, so she's on the break up with him, reject him before he rejects you, then you won, right? Okay, well, I don't really like girls like that. Like, it's not a competition, bitch. So, she leaves, whatever. And then we go to a place called Peg Leg Pete's to get some food, and we get cut off at Peg Leg Pete's, dude. I drank a beer, tipped the band, requested a song, they played it, it was awesome. Good time. And we get seated upstairs, and our server cuts us off. His name was Topher. He was a faggot. And so there was a whole debacle and drama with that, and we ended up getting kicked out. We ended up being told we had to leave, which was my fault. I was drinking, and my pride comes out when I'm drinking, and I can be an asshole. But it's because everybody tries to control me when I'm drinking, right? I'm wild. I'm drinking. I'm letting loose, man. All the things I got inside are starting to come out. And so I just get a little wild and reckless, and it makes people uncomfortable and stuff. So I was calling the server a faggot, I was calling the manager a faggot, and they brought people out from the kitchen, and I was calling them faggots, and everybody got a good old faggot in front of the kids and everything. I'm sorry to the parents. But yeah, we got thrown out of that place. So we go to a bar, and we approach a couple girls, and I rolled up first. At this point, we've ate food. I'm drunk. I've been in the sun all day. I have zero nervousness, right? There is zero nervousness to talk to these women. I'm on vacation mode. I've been camping for the last like 6 days, 5 days, whatever it was, right? So I approached these girls and I said something like, "Hey, what's going on, ladies?" Something like that, you know. And they didn't like it. The one girl that her and I were exchanging eye contacts like from across the bar and stuff, she kept looking at me, motherfucker. I was walking around doing my thing. And the third time, I was like, all right, well, I'm about to go talk to these girls. Like, I'm not going to sit around here. Because it was these 2 girls and then a group of 3 girls that kept looking at me. So I was like, all right, well, I got to make my approaches. And so I approached the 2 girls. The brunette that was looking at me, that I was more into, just kind of clammed up and shied away when I made my approach because she thought I was a douchebag. Fair enough. I am. And then the blonde was mean to me, dude. She was mean and she was rude and everything, like overtly. And my friend noticed it again. He was like, yeah, she was nice to me, but she was mean to you. Like, she was really trying to hurt you, right? She was saying things to try to make me insecure. And I remember looking at her and the look on her face, we were looking into each other's eyes. The look on her face was, she was confused as to why I wasn't insecure, because she just went for the deepest cut she could go for immediately, right? And if you're of the same color as me, you'll understand what she was saying, that I was not her friend's type, right? Told me I was the wrong color, right? And, you know, it's like my whole adult life that's been going on. Especially after the George Floyd stuff, you know, it's been white women trying to tell me that I'm inferior because I'm white. Like, projection, self-projection. Go ahead, tell me more, sweetheart. So she did that, you know, and she was confused as to why it didn't bother me. And it's just like, yeah, I just don't care. Like, I know what you're doing, and I just don't care. Like, there's a lot of people that want me to be weak. That's why I'm not weak. Like, thank you guys. Thank you. You know, I'm a man. Hard times make a man strong. Stupid. If you want me to be weak, you should give me everything. Don't make me work for anything. So we left because that girl was rude, and I was like, man, fuck these bitches. And then the other 3 girls were gone. So, damn it. All right, so next night rolls around. We're at the bar. We're talking to 2 girls. They're on our left. We're at a restaurant, but we're sitting at the bar. And these 2 girls were on our left. And then 2 other girls roll up and sit on the right of us. And the 2 girls on the left were kind of boring, but they were the only girls that we could talk to while we were sitting at the bar waiting. Well, then the 2 girls on the right were really fun. They were a lot of fun. And so I ended up making out with one of them. And then somehow, you know, in the drunkenness, I don't know what happened. We got shuffled around, and I made out with the other one, which I was more into the second one originally. And the first one kind of knew it. I could tell she was feeling a little insecure as we were talking. And so I did that. And then she's telling me that I'm not her type. Again, 2 nights in a row. You're not my type. You're the wrong color. And I'm like, bitch. We just made out with each other. Like, you're stupid, you know? You're actually just fucking dumb. Like, we just made out with each other. You had no hesitations, nothing. You let me kiss you as soon as I went for it. And now you're telling me, after I kissed your friend, no, you're the wrong type. Like, I get it. I deserve it. I'm a douchebag. Okay, fine. But, like, motherfuckers, dude. Like, can we have fun? Nobody ever wants to have fun anymore, dude. I'm just trying to have fun. Like, you girls don't take me serious. I'm here on vacation. I don't take y'all serious. Like, come on, can we just all just make out and call it a night? You know? No. They gotta get jealous of each other, right? So, yeah. Well, that's semen retention, and that's ladies, right? And so my friend, who, like I said, is overweight and bald, he asked me after that girl that was named Elizabeth approached me. He was like, "Is that really it? Like, you just have to like get ripped, and that's what happens?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. I mean, you know, if you looked around the bar, I was the only guy who was jacked, so I had no competition, and that's what like the whole world is." Most guys do not have a good muscular physique, right? They don't look good with their shirts off. Most guys have not built that little bit of extra muscle that makes you look like a hard-working man, right? I'm not the biggest guy. When I go into the gym, I'm not the biggest guy, and I don't care to be the biggest guy, right? I've got an extra amount of muscle on my body that I look good and I feel good. Praise God. And so he, you know, had the experience. He got to see all of the shit I was telling him. That like, dude, I get thrown out of places. Girls will be rude and mean to me. Men will be mean and rude. And it's all just off of like hate, jealousy, envy, stuff like that. You know, stupid stuff. So right before we leave to go on this trip, my ex-girlfriend messages me on Facebook. She sent me a heart. And I responded with a question mark. And so she was like, it just seems like you're on Facebook and whatever. So I saw her last night. I was driving through Nashville. I was like, well, you know, do you want to grab a drink? Because she was talking to me about like her day and shit like that on Facebook. And I was just like, okay, whatever. This girl wants to see me. So that's what we do. Now, she's had a boyfriend since we broke up. She's had like either one or two boyfriends, whatever. And she broke up with him. She talked to me about it last night. She broke up with her last boyfriend. But she told me, like right after we sat down, she looked at me and she was like, we're opposites. And she was talking about how I have this aggression about me. Because the last time I saw her, she said the same thing. She said I had this aggressive energy that made her uncomfortable. And last night, she told me things got a little tense because we were talking about our past and everything. So we had a little stuff to work through, right? You know, just a conversation. But she said that she started sweating. And I gave her a hug after it was all over because she cried last night. And she was trembling when I hugged her. And I was like, damn, this girl is actually like afraid of me. She's like physically afraid of me right now. And I told her, you know, like, I would never hurt you. Like, what the fuck? That's, you know, there's no reason to be afraid of me. And she knows that. That's the whole thing. Is she knows I would never hurt her. I've never hurt a woman in general, right? But she was talking about, like, my level of, like, anger and aggression that I have and how, like, you know, it can be felt. And she asked me if I thought it was a problem, and I said no. I was like, the modern world just constantly tries to tell men to be like docile and not angry, and I don't think that that's like it runs in my family. Like my father has a temper, I've got one, my brother does. Like we just can't help it. And there's even like science where they're showing that like angry men have low testosterone, right? And I'm like, that's just fear-mongering. Like, these people are just afraid of an angry man, right? That's not true. When you see two fucking bucks in their rut and they're hitting their fucking antlers against each other, those motherfuckers are angry, dude, and their T is up because they're trying to reproduce, right? And so my girl said that, and like I was selling cars when I dated her, and I told her, she was saying that I wasn't like that, and she was kind of insinuating, you know, like what's wrong with, like, what's going on, do you need to talk and stuff. But I was like, no, there's nothing wrong. I was like, sweetheart, I was like this before we met. You just didn't know this side of me because when I'm around you, like, you get me to relax. You get me to lighten up a little bit, right? The bag has been secured. And, but I told her, I was like, yeah, no, the job that I was working at, like, when I was selling cars, when I was dating her, I was like, several people mentioned that I was a lot happier after we started dating. And I told her, I was like, yeah, they would be like, man, that girl's doing some work on you, ain't she? And I'd be like, yeah, man, yeah, I'm a little happier now. I'm in a better mood, right? And you know, I'm older now, and I've just accepted it. That, like, yeah, I've just got some anger and aggression. I used to try to suppress it, and push it away, and act like it wasn't there, and put a fake smile on, and now I don't. It's there. But now I can laugh through it, right? Like, I've made this video, and I laugh. And last night, I said it to her. I was like, I've laughed and smiled more than you have. And you're acting like I've got a problem. Like, I think you're the one with a problem. You know, I wasn't being mean to her, but it was like, come on. Let's call a spade a spade. So, moral of the story, you will attract women on semen retention. And like I've said in my videos before, that people will come against you. You're going to have experiences where women really do not like you. Like, they're going to be really, like, mad at you because you're a strong man. And most of the time, it's going to be older women who have already experienced it, right? Just like that restaurant where the young girl, my friend, noticed she liked me and she was nice to me. And I've noticed that a lot, that young girls in their, like, early 20s and stuff are really, you know, naive and stuff, so they like a guy like me. And then the older girls are like, no, right? And my ex-girlfriend from high school, it was the same way. Her mom did not like me the whole time we dated, but she fucking loved me, right? And she got exactly what her mom was trying to protect her from, was my cheating ass, right? So, you know, that's gonna happen, right? It's just part of the game, guys. Like, I would rather go approach these girls and have them be rude to me and try to make me feel insecure because of my skin color. It's real fucked up. I didn't choose this, and I don't get to change it, right? That's fucked up. And these same women are the ones that have said, you know, that's fucked up to do to black people, but it's okay to do to white people, right? Yeah. I'm crazy. I'm crazy because I think for myself, right? So, the point is I would rather, and you should rather, life is better this way. It's better to shoot, miss the fucking target, than not pull that damn trigger and regret the fact that you didn't shoot. Because guess what? When you shoot and you miss the target, you get to look at what you did in hindsight and learn what was wrong, what the problem was, what you did wrong, right? And you become stronger if a girl is rude and mean to you, right? She might point something out that you might be insecure about, that you might, you know, have a little feeling about, and you can take that and just roll it up and become stronger because of it, and become more confident because of it, right? You made your approach, you've got balls, and she disrespected you for it. How many times does that happen, right? It used to not happen back when I was in my early 20s. It was like very rare that you had a bad interaction with a girl, right? I'd get rejected sometimes, but they weren't rude or mean. And now it's like girls that do like me are mean and rude to me because they're afraid of me, right? So that's just part of it. It's part of the game. It's the world we live in now. There's a lot of mean, rude, and angry people that do not let that make you cower into a corner. That's the whole point, is they want men cowered into a corner. And we're not going to do that. All right? There you go, fellas. Take care.